All right, today we're diving deep into a 2025 Rush Report for the Delta Phi Psi fraternity at Penn State. Now, if you're even thinking about Greek life there, you're going to want to pay close attention. The stuff in this report, it could literally be the thing that makes or breaks your decision. So the entire report really boils down to this one single question that any potential Rushie has to ask themselves. Is this chapter actually worth it? I mean, worth your time, your money, and let's be real, your reputation. Bottom line, should you rush Delta Phi Pi? And right off the bat, the analysis tells us, yeah, it's not that simple. This isn't just a yes or no answer. It's complicated. The whole decision really comes down to this massive conflict, right at the core of what this chapter's all about. So let's get into it. Okay, so here it is. This is the central problem. On the one hand, if you look at their national organization's roster, this chapter is listed as active, totally legit. But on the other hand, Penn State University itself says, nope, we don't recognize you. They're an unrecognized organization, and that's a huge deal. It means they're operating completely on their own, without any official support or oversight from the university. That changes everything. So, keeping that whole recognized but unrecognized thing in mind, let's talk about what this fraternity actually brings to the table. We're going to look at the vibe, the culture, and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, the alumni network. This is all about the long game. This quote from the report really says it all. Delta Phi is small, and they did that on purpose. This isn't one of those massive, sprawling megafrats. No, they're all about exclusivity and keeping the bonds between brothers super tight. The report points out they value, and I'm quoting here, quiet standards and a bit of formality. It's not about being the biggest or loudest chapter on the block. So how does that small, exclusive vibe translate into real-world value after graduation? Well, the report gives their alumni value score a 60 out of 100. That's not bad at all. It's a pretty solid score. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. Yeah, see, this isn't the network you join if you want to become a famous actor or a musician. It's super focused, heavily concentrated in these really traditional, high-powered fields. We're talking law, finance, policy, medicine. You get the picture. The report has a great way of putting it. It's a doors open if you're prepared kind of deal. So the network will get you in the room, it'll get you that introduction, but you gotta have the goods to actually close the deal yourself. Okay, so that's the long-term potential. But what's it actually like to be a brother here, day in and day out? Now we're going to look at how being an unrecognized chapter really hits the undergraduate experience. And trust me, the scores here, they paint a very different picture. And boom, first score we see is a 46 out of 100. Oof, that's not great. So the immediate question is, what on earth is this score for? It's scoring the stereotypical frat lifestyle experience. The big parties, the huge tailgates, all that stuff. And not low score. It's all because they're independent. They're just not connected to the official, university-approved Greek social scene. That means they're playing a completely different game when it comes to social life. And this quote from the report just nails the trade-off here. On the plus side, because they're on their own, there's a lot less chaos and they have way more control over their own events. But the downside is pretty obvious, right? They're not getting those automatic invitations to all the big campus-wide stuff. Their social calendar is just smaller. All right, next up, another score in the same ballpark, a 48 out of 100. And this one gets a little more personal. Yup, this score is for the chance of scoring and hooking up. And look, the report is super blunt about this. Since the fraternity isn't officially recognized, just wearing their letters isn't going to do the heavy lifting for you socially. If you want to succeed in this department, it's all on you. It comes down to your own game, your own social skills, not the fraternity's reputation. Okay, now we're getting to what is honestly the most fascinating and kind of out there part of this entire report. To figure out just how tight the Brotherhood is, the analysts created their own special metric. It's a scale of closeness. So here's the framework they use. It's a 10-point scale. At a level 1, you're basically just business casual roommates, no real closeness. A level 3 is like, acquaintances. You talk about sports, classes, that kind of stuff. Then you get to level 5, where there's occasional nudity, guys crashing on the couch, post-shower chats, just a general level of comfort and ease. And then the scale goes further. Level 7 is described as mutual sexual experimentation, and a level 10 is, well, full-on physical relationships between brothers. It's a comprehensive scale. So the big question is, where does Delta Phi Psi actually fall on this scale? The report puts them right at a level 5. So, what does a level 5 actually look like in this chapter? The report explains it's a kind of normalized physical ease. Think about it like this: fixing a brother's tie before a formal event, a quick squeeze of the shoulder when someone gets good news. It's comfort, but without being a big show. It's not about crazy, rowdy antics. It's a genuine familiarity that comes from trust. And the report hints that this is probably even stronger because they're a smaller independent group. Okay, let's say you've heard all this, the pros, the cons, the powerful network, the quiet social life, and you think, you know what? This is for me. Well, the report gives you a step-by-step playbook on exactly how to nail their recruitment process. First up, how you show up. The look they're going for is smart casual Ivy. Think chinos, a nice polo, maybe some loafers. Your demeanor? Mature. Give a firm handshake, put your phone away, and make a point to listen more than you talk. And this is critical. Do not brag, especially not about partying or hooking up. It's the wrong crowd for that. The core vibe you're aiming for is discreet, dependable, and composed. The report even lays out your 30-second elevator pitch. It's simple: name, major, what else you're involved in on campus, and here's the most important part: what specific strengths you, personally, will bring to the chapter. It's not about what they can do for you, it's about what you can do for them. Now, you know for a fact they're going to ask you this question. So why Delta Phi specifically? And you can't give some generic answer. The report gives you the perfect model. I want a smaller, standards-driven fraternity where discretion and follow-through matter. See what that does? It tells them you get it. You've actually done your research and you understand what they're about. And finally, it all comes down to the final impression, the do's and the don'ts. The green flags, the things you should do, are all about showing you're a good dude. Ask smart questions, send a follow-up thank you, maybe even offer to help with some boring task. The red flags are all about ego. Don't flex about how much you party. Don't ever trash talk other fraternities. And for God's sake, don't treat the brothers like they're just gatekeepers you have to get past. So, after all that, who is this fraternity actually for? The report's conclusion is super clear on this. This chapter is built for a very specific kind of guy. It's for someone who picks composure over chaos, someone who's comfortable and capable of creating their own social runway, instead of just showing up for one that's already built for them. And that brings us to the report's final overall score, a 52 out of 100. I mean, you can't get much more down the middle than that. So it leaves you, the potential rushie, with this one massive question to chew on. When you weigh all the trade-offs, does having that powerful niche network and a genuinely low-drama brotherhood, does that outweigh all the risks that come with being unrecognized by the university? That's the decision you have to make.